It's summertime, time to get the grill going. By chance, I just got one last week, so let's make some grilled seitan.
We're gonna start off with 1.5 cups of vital wheat gluten.
Now, this is not flour, okay? It's made from wheat, but it's actually the protein component of wheat in a concentrated form.
Are you gonna measure or are you gonna eyeball?
I'm gonna use the cup that's in here.
All right.
I usually measure the vital wheat gluten and eyeball everything else. This is a fairly large recipe because you're gonna be cooking it on the grill. So you don't want a little tiny piece that's gonna dry out and get like charcoal really fast. I like to have a larger piece. Get some grill marks on it, let people know they're eating grilled food. All right, 1.5 cups. And yes, I'm putting that right into the bowl of my KitchenAid mixer, in case you didn't notice that.
Next up is 1/4 cup of chickpea flour.
Now, chickpea flour is really easy to make. If you have dried chickpeas, just grind them up in your blender. That's how you make chickpea flour. But we're using Bob's Red Mill today because it's pretty ubiquitous. You can find it almost any grocery store. And what it does is it acts like a little bit of, like if you've ever seen people put beans into seitan, it does the same thing. Because think about it, chickpeas are beans, you know? So it breaks that texture down, makes it less gummy.
It wouldn't be cooking with us if there wasn't nutritional yeast. We're gonna be using 2 tablespoons.
Now this is for flavor as well as a little bit of a texturizer. It works much like the chickpea flour does. It changes the texture, but it also has a lot of umami in here. And then
1 tablespoon of garlic powder.
I'm not measuring these things. I'm just gonna eyeball it. When it comes to cooking, you can eyeball things a lot of the time and it's close enough. In other words, like an extra ½ teaspoon of garlic powder isn't gonna ruin the dish.
And if there's garlic powder in there, there's gotta be onion powder as well.
Not always, but in this case, yes. 1 tablespoon, right?
Of course.
I normally have them in equal amounts, but there are times when I don't.
Next up is smoked paprika, another tablespoon.
Yeah, and this one, I don't always add smoked paprika to my seitan, but when I want it to be a little smoky, that's kind of what it's for. You could also use liquid smoke if you wanted to, but I find the smoked paprika gives a little bit of a color to the seitan as well. It's kind of pleasing. And then
2 tablespoons of tamari or soy sauce.
we're using tamari because that's what we have, but soy sauce works just as well. 2 tablespoons?
Yes.
Okay. And this is going to add a little bit more of that umami flavor and a saltiness. Just works really well. Also, tamari and soy sauce add meatiness to seitans. Really, really great for a flavoring.
And then we're going to add some white wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of that.
Now, this is to get rid of the VWG flavor that some people find objectionable. I don't really find it that bothersome for me, but it also adds just a little bit of a kind of a sourness to it to just bring out a meatiness more, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it's been so long since I had meat, I'm not really sure what it tastes like anymore. So I just know that this tastes good.
And then we're gonna top that all off with 1 to 1.5 cups of water or veggie broth.
Now, I'm using water today. There's plenty of seasonings in here to make this taste good. You can always change up the seasonings on these things if you want to. This is just a generic seitan. I have been known to use taco seasonings and all kinds of stuff in there. Depends on what you're making. I also said 1 to 1.5 cups because I'm gonna put in a little over half of that to start off with, and then put it on the KitchenAid, see if we need more. Okay, and I'm just gonna attach the bowl to my mixer, nice and tight. And then get out the dough hook. That's right, I'm using the dough hook. And attach that. And lock it up, start it on low. And I'll know pretty much right away if it needs more water. As you can see, that looks pretty dry, so let me get more water. I'm just gonna pour a little bit down the side. Maybe up the speed a touch. If you start it too fast, you get the blowout, where the vital wheat gluten just goes flying everywhere. We don't want that. Still a little dry. I ended up adding all the water. I'm gonna let that go for about 10 minutes or so. If your mixer, like mine, doesn't want to mix it all up and it just kind of makes a pool, get in there with a spatula and scrape the sides. See how there's like a whole plate down there of seitan that we want all mixed together. So there's a lot of dry still in there and everything like that. That's all you got to do. Get that back down in there, lock it up, and turn it back on. Now it should be able to mix that up nicely. After about 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna shut off the mixer and tilt it back, scrape off the dough hook, and you can see we have, it's not fully kneaded yet. It's still kind of broken up. So over to the cutting board. And of course, if you don't have a KitchenAid mixer or a stand mixer of any kind, you can just do it by hand. It's really not that hard. I usually do it by hand, but I figured let's show something different. People ask if you can do it with a stand mixer. Of course you can. Now you might notice that this is a little bit wetter than I usually make my seitans. That's on purpose because when you grill something, you want a little extra moisture in there because of the high heat cooking method.
Right. Ideally, we're going to want something nice and juicy on the inside and have that nice crisp crunch on the outside.
Yeah, grill marks. So I just knead it for a few minutes until you can feel it come together, like it gets a lot firmer. And then I'm going to shape it into a mass. That's the easiest way to say it. Just a mass, something like this.
Kind of a loaf-ish?
Yeah, loaf-ish. There we go. Needs a little bit more kneading. The more you knead it, the more texture is going to develop. Some people are afraid of that when they make seitan. For me, it sort of depends on the seitan. Some of them don't need as much kneading. This particular one can do with a lot because we have the chickpea flour in there as a dough conditioner. It's actually going to hold up. As you can see, those strands that are forming, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see more of that, so I'm just going to keep kneading it a little bit more. After just maybe like another minute of kneading, it's actually much firmer, right where I want it to be. So now, make our loaf-ish. And then it's time to get our Instant Pot. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, you can just steam this, okay, and it'd be fine. I'm gonna pressure cook it though, because I love this technique. We started doing this and it saves time, saves effort. It's so much easier. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, for this I'm gonna be using the big Instant Pot because we have a rather large loaf-ish like thing. And I'm gonna use the steaming basket that came with mine. If you don't have one of these, you can put like a bowl upside down. You can put any kind of a steamer type attachment in there. It's fine. Mine just happens to work really well with that. And parchment paper, the most important thing, because it's gonna keep it from falling through all those little slots and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is take my square of parchment paper. You might have seen me do this before. Fold it in half. Fold it into quarters. Fold it into eighths. Notice I'm making a point in the middle. It's kind of like, remember you made cut out snowflakes when you were a kid? It's like that. Cut it into 16ths. Do I dare go for 30 seconds? I'm gonna go for 30 seconds. Here we go. All those years of origami as a wasted youth are paying off. Okay. And I just like to make that as sharp as I can. What I'm gonna do to measure it though, is just go to the middle of this guy and about out to the, close to the edge. I like to leave a little bit, like a 1/2 inch space. I have that marked. Get my handy dandy scissors. Cut that off. Don't worry about it, it fell in the sink, it's all good. And then open it up. We have a lovely circle-ish. Yeah, the Cookie Monster was here. But it should fit directly in there. Now, another trick that I do, because see how that's all laying weird? Crumple it up. I love this part. Let out your frustrations, you know. You just open it up nice and careful. The little hole there doesn't even matter because it's basically just to keep this from going through those slats. So I just put that in the bottom, grab my seitan, drop it in there, rinse off my hand again because, you know, I had to touch seitan. Now, in order for the Instant Pot to work, you need some water in there. And where's the water thing? Oh, it's over here. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of water. You need a couple cups, really. You don't need much. I'm just gonna pour that down the side. Essentially, you do not want it to touch the seitan because it'll leach out a lot more of the seasonings that way. But just almost up to the point where it is fine. And then this is gonna go into the Instant Pot. Pop on the lid, make sure it sings to you. And then we're gonna pressure cook this. You could do 30 minutes, but I don't think it really needs 30. I'm just gonna do 25. I turn off keep warm because I just don't need that. And then hit start. Now make sure that your vent at the top is in that position so that it'll seal and actually pressure cook. All right, so once the time is up, I let it sit for like maybe 10 minutes. And we have now this is gonna be just unceremonial here, but it's okay. Our seitan. That was actually not so bad. Take the parchment off. And it's always flat on one side. That's just the way it is. But you can see this has a nice firm texture. Ideally, you want to put this in the fridge and let it sit for a few hours. But you know what? I don't live in an ideal world. I don't think you do either. So you know what? I'm gonna go start up my grill and get this grilled. All right, so our grill is now up to about 425 degrees or so. And I'm gonna open it up, grab the giant tongs, get my seitan, and place it on the grill. Then close the lid. Don't touch it. Okay, it's been about 2 to 3 minutes or so, and I said don't touch it. And the reason is, if you mess with it too much, it will stick to the grill. Notice I didn't put any oil. There's no excess fat in this. But if you don't touch it, it'll actually caramelize and it'll come off the grill. I'm gonna see if I can get underneath it and show you. Yep, see, it's really not sticking much at all. Get in there and give it a flip. All right, it's been a few more minutes. Let's give this a check. I'm looking for those char marks. I think we might have them now. It stuck a little bit more that time. Still no char marks though. So something that I didn't do this time that I usually do is I actually cut it into like chunks, and I didn't do that this time. I'm wondering if that's the issue. See, we're starting to get grill marks here, but not enough. So let's take it inside, cut it, and come back out. You know, on the grill sometimes you might need a smaller piece or it won't grill exactly the way you want it. But this is still nice and soft and juicy. So what I want to do is just give it a couple of cuts. I'm going to just maybe make 3 large pieces. You can see it's hot and it's still nice and juicy in the middle. But now I'm going to get some grill marks.
This man is determined.
That's right. Okay, this grill is hot. It's up to 500 degrees now. Grab a piece, put it on there. I can hear it sizzle. Grab another piece, and our third piece. I like to keep the chunks big. That's why I wanted to make a big hunk in the first place. But I think maybe a slightly smaller piece like that works a little bit better. All right, it's been a few minutes. Time to give them a flip. And, oh yeah, see, grill marks. That's what I wanted right there. Let me just get this out of the way for a second. Notice how they're not really sticking because they're cooked properly. Yeah, perfect. Let's check out the grill marks on that. Oh, look at that. That's some grill marks. Just put that right there. Give them another couple minutes. It's been a few more minutes and I think our seitan is grilled enough. So let's get these off the grill, onto our pan. Okay, so we're in from the outside and we have grill marks on our seitan. This is the point at which I slice it up into smaller pieces. It's much easier to consume that way. All right, so this is the best part of every cooking video. Get to have a taste of it. Ladies first.
Why, thank you.
I'm not gonna use a fork. You have this lovely crust on the outside that gives a nice little crunch and a crispiness texture. And then inside it's soft and still juicy and moist. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's really shocking what grilling can do to things like this. And I've been bugging Derica to let me get a grill for a long time to be able to do exactly this, because I knew this was what was gonna happen. And since we've got the grill, I've made this at least, what, 3 times? 3 3 or 4 times, yeah. And absolutely fabulous every single time. So we're gonna set this to the side and I'm gonna chop up some veggies, and that's gonna be our dinner along with some sauces, which we might have a sauce video coming out real soon to give you some options there. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.